beautiful friends, and welcome to Elemental Connections, where we're talking about the unseen realms of nature. And today we have Alphedia with us. Welcome. And you have a beautiful website
Thank
called
you.
elementalbeings.co.uk.
That's right.
And I've found you many times, actually. I've been led to your website many times over the last few years.
Okay.
And especially at the beginning of the year when I had an encounter. I went to Wales and met with the dragons for the first time.
Wow. Yeah.
So I would love our session today to be focused on dragon energy.
Well, that's brilliant, because this is the 3rd year anniversary of me setting up the Scottish Dragon Wisdom School. 10 years of elemental beings. So yes, it's a great time to be talking about dragons. We're also redoing our website because it got a cyber attack done on it, and it just wasn't coming together until now, and it's 3 years, and yeah, the dragons are really coming to the fore again. And yeah, we're in the process of transition, which the dragons are really good with helping with transmutation and transitions. So we're moving house to a new venue, so we're going to be creating a new dragon temple portal, and yes, so it's a good time to be connecting with the dragon energies.
That's really
of the earth, yeah. And I'm just back from Wales as well. I've been to Wales twice before, and we went in June. I just felt I had to go to Wales before I ran the Marilyns and Dragon Summer Solstice Retreat, which 30 people took part in on the west coast of Scotland. So I'm with you with Wales. It's great for dragon energy.
Yeah, and do you sense, like for me, when I tune into it, I just feel like there's some kind of reawakening of the dragon energy that's happening at this time. I didn't know if that's just my experience or...
No, well, when I wrote my first book, Messages from Nature's Guardians, which got published in 2009, I did the fire chapter. So each chapter connects you with a different elemental, and it was my journey of meeting them all. And because I'm an environmental scientist, receiving their environmental messages for what we need to be doing to help the planet and help them at this time. And when I was working with each time a goddess or ascended master, each chapter, sorry, a goddess or ascended master helped with, and it was Pele for the fire one, and I asked about dragons, and she was like, oh yeah, dragons are real, but there's not any dragons there's not many dragons left in Britain. But what I now know is that they were dormant, and a lot of them are now returning. And what's happened after the 2012 shift is that more and more of the dragon consciousness is awakening for us all, because we're raising our vibration. The decision was, yes, we're going to go on this ascension journey at 2012.
I've got goosebumps all over my...
I know. So now so many people are contacting me about dragons. I just did an offer on my website of the half price Guardian Dragon workshop, and we're about to put it on offer again because I'm doing a half price sale of all my workshops. I've channeled over 300 workshops, and so to celebrate our 10-year anniversary, it's going to go live in the next couple of days. We're going to do a half price offer on all the courses for people to catch up on all the back courses. And over 60 people took part in that last offer to connect with their guardian dragons, which is more than did it originally in 2013. I think I had about 30 people doing it then, and that was like, wow, a lot of people want to connect with dragons, but more and more people are seeing dragons in their healings when they go out, maybe to, as you say, somewhere like Wales, up into the hills, or just in their dreams or in their visualizations, meditations. And the dragons are really trying to connect with everybody. And you see, we worked a lot with dragons in Atlantis. And last year, probably about October time, I ran a Dragon Initiates workshop. I mean, I channel all my workshops, but this one was a really good one because a lot of people were able to remember the work they'd done with the dragons in the past. And a lot of us are dragon priestesses and priests who have returned to the planet to help with this period of great spiritual transformation and growth, and the light overcoming the darkness. So we're clearing out our ego blocks, we're clearing out our money blocks, all the conditioned beliefs that have been put into us by the Anunnaki at the fall of Atlantis, and just our societal conditioning. The dragons are excellent for helping you to shift those states of being. So a lot of people still live in third dimensional reality, but they're awakening and wanting to move into fifth dimensional consciousness. And that's really what the dragons are helping with. And a lot of us have come onto Earth. I mean, I'm a walk-in soul. I walked in 2003. So part of my mission is to help people move into this fifth dimensional consciousness, this way of being, respecting the planet, loving themselves, and just saying, I don't have to take on the conditioning of my parents. I don't have to carry this negativity that the media wants us to believe about the world, our governments want us to believe. We can create, and we can co-create with the nature realms, a wonderful new reality where everyone does live in joy, happiness, love, peace, and we together can just move towards a greater connection with divine source, which is ultimately what our earth walk is all about. So yeah, dragons are excellent to help you if any of that resonates with you and your spiritual journey.
Yeah, beautiful. So what would you describe the dragons as, in a way? Because for me, at the beginning of the year, I was still, even though I was open to the elemental realm,
Yep.
They were still in the land of fantasy for me. And so it wasn't until I met with the dragon energy and I was like, oh my God, they're actually elementals.
Yep.
So,
well, there's lots of different, I see them more like the angelic realm. Because most people know the angelic realm. You have your guardian angels, then you have your archangels, then you have like your virtues, your seraphim. You know, there's different layers of them, and similar to the unicorn realm as well, there are many different types of dragons. So you have your elemental dragons, so the earth dragons, they live in the mountains and the hills, the fire dragons and the volcanoes. You've got the ice dragons who look after the ice caps around the world and the big glaciers. You've got your water dragons in the oceans, and they're returning to the rivers. And you've got your spirit dragons, your galactic dragons. We've done metal dragon workshops, which were amazing. The metal dragons actually look after you when you're going fast, and well, if you're in a car or like aeroplanes. So if you're about to get on a flight, just ask the metal dragon guardian of the plane to watch over you to get you safely to your destination. And you know, once we started, and also the crystal dragons, which are now so popular, in case anybody doesn't know about them. So this is some of my smaller ones. This is like the 4-inch size. I have big 10-inch ones, 10.5-inch ones, and they offer people healings. I do healing sessions with them. But the realm is just vast, and more are just awakening for us. The busiest workshop I've ever run was the most popular workshop ever was in January this year, and it was the Atlantean dragons. And I can't remember how many people took part in that, but no, it was a £70 workshop. So it wasn't, it was a really intense workshop. It wasn't necessarily a beginner's workshop. It was for people who were really ready to look at their stuff, and it was a full day's intense workshop. And, you know, I must have had, maybe 60 people took part in that one as well, which for, you know, a topic like that, I was just so pleased that so many people were ready and at that level to clear their Atlantean karma and to work with the dragons and re-establish their connection with the Atlantean dragons. And that was a really good course. I really enjoyed. I mean, I enjoy all the dragon ones, but that really shifted a lot for a lot of people and helped a lot of people, which was great to connect with them. So there's so many different types that you can call into life.
Is there anything that kind of unites all the different, like you say, there's lots of different levels to the dragon consciousness. Do you know what kind of unites them? Well,
they are just the dragon realm. So just like the fairy realm or the angelic realm, the unicorn realm, their consciousness is what we call the dragon consciousness. And they just have different facets, just like the angelic realm has different facets within it. The dragon realm has different facets within it too. Obviously, most people start with connecting with their guardian dragon, or perhaps like you, they've been out in nature and been like, whoa, what is this energy? This is like dragon energy.
And now I feel my guardian dragon, which I feel is the one who's been kind of going, keep saying to me, you need to talk about dragons. You
need to get into dragons. I know. And they are just really... they're really, really powerful. And I always say to people, don't take your dragon journey lightly, because you can overdose on dragon energy. I did at the start. I was working with so much, and nobody really in 2008 was working with dragons that I knew at that time. I think there was a course down in Wales, but that was much more wizardy. And I live with a wizard. My husband's a Merlin Vortex wizard, and when I first met him, he lived in Merlindale Valley in the Scottish borders. But the dragons are, you know, it's a powerful energy. You will get massive shifts with them. You will get physical detoxes. You will get reactions within your life. They will shake your life up. They'll shake it up even from the foundations, but it's because you're ready for it. They won't come into your life until you are ready to work with them. And they're all about transmutation and transformation. And that's the key, to call them on when you're required to transform. If something's not working in your life, if you're not well, if things are not flowing in your relationships, if your career's not right, or you have no money, you know, things like that, brilliant to call the dragons in to help you shift the blocks. They're fantastic at that. And I work with them a lot for earth healing as well. That's what I specialise in.
Yeah, that's what I was first shown, was to do with earth healing. And so how would you specifically call them in? Like, if somebody watching wants...
Well, if you go onto my website, I've got a dragon page and I've got an invocation there on it. And I just make my invocations up. Well, I don't, I just channel them. But you could just ask, as simple as, dragons, please come into my life. And they will come into your life. If you want a more formal invocation, I'm pretty sure the webpage is just www.elementalbeings.co.uk/dragons. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. But even if you just go onto the homepage, type in dragons, it should come up, and it does have tips on how to work with them and how it's got an invocation to connect with them. And I think it's even, I might be wrong, but it did used to have it did used to have a little guided meditation thing you could go with them. I can't remember which page that was on. You see, it's only my Elemental Beings page that is
I highly
running.
recommend anybody who wants to explore these realms to go on your website.
Oh, thank you.
So much content. You've got so many different realms that you work with. So.
I know, and I just channel them, and I've been wanting for years to run a blog because my life is just crazy. You know, it's just these different beings just dip in and out, and the number of times I've collapsed on the floor because somebody's wanted to channel, and it's just crazy. If you lived in, I had a gap year student working for me, and last year, and she was great, and her mum does a lot of my courses, so she was quite au fait with this world that is elemental beings. And so I said to her, right, we really need to start blogging. That's the thing to do. And I've got so much information, we could blog. And she's like, you know, you even need to channel stuff from fairies. Just your life is interesting. The bizarre things that happen in your life on a daily basis. I mean, it's crazy. But when you step into the world of magic, magical things just happen. So, you know, that was her observation over when we used to sit and have lunch. She's like, oh, your life is just bonkers. I'm like, it's great bonkers, you know. Never know what's happening next.
Yeah. Well, you're so right. When we open up to these realms, life takes on a completely different, it shifts, isn't it?
It does. It really, really does. And that's part of the journey, just opening yourself up and trusting. That's the key thing I say to people, is to trust themselves. Because most people contact me. I mean, I run so many groups on Facebook, but most people friend me, Alphedia Arara Kenchington on Facebook, and then the most common question is people doubting themselves, like, how can I do this? How do I do that? Or I think I got this information. Is that correct? I'm like, well, yeah, that is correct, you know. So yeah, I've done a couple of meditations on, you know, trust. And I think that's the key thing, is to trust and be in your heart. You know, you trust through the heart.
Absolutely. It's so true. So I'd love to hear, how did the dragons show themselves to you? How did they open?
Well, that is the first chapter in a book that I started years ago, and I was just thinking, I'm going on a writing retreat next week. I'm taking 3 people with me on a writing retreat, and the dragons want me to write this book, you see. But I have this book, Magical Adventures with the Fae, that's kind of half written, and I don't know what the block is to publishing it and to getting it out there. But in the first chapter, or second chapter, I talk about 2008 winter solstice. And at that point, I wasn't living with my husband. I mean, we weren't married, we'd met, but we were just a couple. So I was lying in bed one night in my room, and Merlin appeared. and took me up to Marilyns Castle, which is in Merlindares Valley near Peebles in Scotland, or Stowe Castle. A lot of people know Stowe Castle Health Spa. And I got this vision that I'd go there at dusk on the winter solstice, and there'd be 3 of us, and there was in the end. And I'd go up there and do some kind of energy ritual, and he just showed me all this white light and magic going on. I didn't really know what was happening in the vision, but it was about 2 weeks before. So anyway, I came down to the Borders, and another friend was living with Oringus at the time, and so all 3 of us, and he'd worked with dragons before. He'd been to Wales on this course, which I didn't know at the time. So anyway, we got there, and I had been seriously ill. I've had to learn to walk, read, write, do everything again. And I looked at that hill and I thought, there's no way I'm going to be able to get up that. How am I going to climb that? There's just no way. Somehow I made it to the top. But when we parked at the bottom, Blair had said, I sensed a dragon when we were running past. Is there a ley line here? And I was like, yeah, there is a ley line. There's a very important ley line. The Marilyns line, which is the longest ley line in the UK, goes from north to south. The Ellen line runs along that valley that we were in. Anyway, we got to the top of the hill, and everybody was like, whoa, what was that energy that disappeared? And it was a dragon. And that was sort of my real journey starting with them, because it was my first experience with them. It was a total initiation. This dragon was requesting things and asking for things, and then showed us how to heal the ley lines with the dragon energy, and the Marilyns line cleared. At that time, I didn't realise that it was the Marilyns line. I didn't know that ran through there until I met the author of the Spine of Albion book, Gary Biltcliffe, lovely man, and his partner, Caroline, and they doused the whole line. And I was like, yeah, I know that line. I've worked on that line. And yeah, that is how my journey with the dragon started, with this one particular dragon in Merlindale. And then I started having past life regressions with dragons. They started coming to me and they started healing me. I had a fire dragon in Hawaii that I had worked with in many lifetimes. I'd saved it. It had been trapped by magic, so I'd undone this magic and it hadn't forgotten. And at that time I was getting quite a lot of psychic attack. I was new to all this, so I wasn't really out there. I was running the business, but I just was getting a lot of off-world attack and everything, and this dragon was really helping protect me and work with me. And yeah, it was great. It was great. A great experience. And that's how the dragon journey began for me.
Magical. And so at this time of them kind of awakening and more people connecting in with them, is there a specific, I mean, I'm sure there's many messages, like you say, there's many layers to their consciousness and their realm, but is there any message, do you think there's a main message that's coming through from them?
I'd say the main message that's coming through is they want to connect. They want to basically find the Earth Keepers. They're wanting to work with the Earth Keepers. So I ran an Earth Keeper Dragon workshop at the summer solstice as part of the retreat, but we opened that part of the retreat up to anybody else who wanted to take part distantly. And it was all about finding out what your role is as an Earth Healer, as an Earth Keeper, and to start to work with the dragon realms to be healing the ley lines, to be healing nature, bringing it all back into balance. And their main driver is to help us shift the fear consciousness that is so prevalent in humanity. The majority of people, about 90% of people, the dragons and the angels and every being of light I've spoken to, 90% of people still live in fear. You know, our society in the West here in particular is a fear-based society. We're bringing our children up in fear. Our main religions, well, all around the world, a lot of the religions perpetrate through fear. And they really want to get us out of fear consciousness. And that is one of their main, missions at this time.
Yeah, that's beautiful, isn't it? And we really do need a lot of help with that at the moment. I mean, it is shifting.
It is a biggie. I still get it coming up,
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I think we all do, don't we? Because it runs through everything and it's almost hidden,
Yes.
We haven't experienced life without it, so we don't really know what it's
That's
like.
right.
Fully free of it.
And it stops us being in the flow of manifestation.
Yeah.
It stops us, we limit ourselves because we actually think the money world is real.
Yeah.
But one of the things the dragons have taught me most is about manifesting. So it's like every month, I mean, I'm self-employed in essence, although I run a company, I am self-employed. But every month I have to think, okay, well, I have to pay these bills at the end of the month. How's that going to happen? And I just ask and I get told, and I've over the years learned to trust that. And, you know, it's flowed for me, but I can see that so many people block it. So they'll be like, oh, I can't afford that. So they cut it dead. Mm-hmm. But actually it's like, okay, well, I can't afford this at this exact moment, but tomorrow I could if I just ask the universe to help me. Yeah. Or in 2 minutes I could if I just ask for the inspiration, or if I just get guided to do a particular thing, or to actually just take ownership of my responsibility for manifesting my reality. And that's one of the key things that most people are scared to do, is to take responsibility for their manifestations, because we can all just manifest. We just have to clear the blocks, pull in the positive energy, and make it our existence.
Yeah, and it comes back to trust again, isn't it? Like you mentioned earlier, trusting the guidance that comes from these realms,
trusting your path and your gifts. A lot of people don't trust their unique gifts. We're all here with different skills, different talents, but so many people struggle to fully embody themselves, or to put themselves out there. And there's no judgment of that. It's just where you're at. But the dragons really can help you, clear the blocks. I mean, maybe you're a great speaker, but you're terrified to do a live video on Facebook, for example, which would help customers find you.
Speaking directly to me then.
Yeah. So that's just throat chakra blocks. That's maybe a past life thing. That's maybe, so a lot of the things I'm going to start doing this year with the dragons, we did it in the Lamas workshop. I think you took part in that one. Did you take part in the Lamas dragon workshop with me?
No.
Okay, so it was an elemental and Lamas workshop with the dragons, and we were clearing our blocks to manifestation. And so it was just a 2-hour workshop, £15 workshop. It was so powerful because I was channeling different things. We did the meditation, and then Refundus. I can't actually get him. He's sort of over there. I should have brought him in. He's my big 10-inch dragon skull, and he's my earth healer. He doesn't normally do human healing, but he said, right, I'm coming in. And he's done a couple of workshops. We said, I'm going to look at the group collective consciousness who's taking part in this workshop. There's maybe about 50 of us doing it. And I'm going to pick out the key vibrational beliefs I can see are hampering you all. And he did all these belief pattern clearings on everybody. And I've had so many emails back going, wow, that was amazing, Refundus, and you only did 5 minutes. So he said, that's what I'm going to start doing this year. You're going to start doing live clearings for people with the dragon energy and help them shift their blocks. And whoever comes to the fore, you have to put your energy in so that he can see, well, where's everybody at? What are you needing clearing? But then he's also told me to start offering one-to-one sessions, which in 10 years I've never done one-to-ones apart from for animal communication. I do soul channeling and dragon channelings, but they're not live. I record them separately and send them out. And so he said, you want to start offering that out? I'm like, oh, okay. So like, you're scared to go live on Facebook. I was scared to do one-to-one healings. I wasn't scared. I just was a bit like...
It's an edge. It's just an edge.
Just like, is this me? Well, I've had this big belief that I wasn't a healer. And I think that it's because I'm trained in Reiki and all the different healing forms, but I'm like an energy soak. So unlike my husband, who is a master healer, he's a homeopath, a vortex magician, Reiki, everything else. He can just transmute naturally other people's energy, where I just soak it all into me. I'm like such an empath that I then struggle to release it. So because I physically wasn't very well, I was never asked to take that role on earth before. So it's like, okay, you've been doing this for 10 years. Now you have to offer people the opportunity to work with you on a one-to-one, because there's a lot of people want to do that. And I was like, oh, okay. So that's coming this year. So this financial year. So I should just say, always talking about this year. It's just because my financial year ends on the 31st of July. So it's like a new year for me.
Right.
Business, as the business goes, we're into our 11th year now as a business. So So yeah, that's something I'm going to start doing with dragons in the future. So I'm actually looking forward to it, because I've got a lot of customers who I've worked with for years, but they're only names on paper. I see them on Facebook, maybe the photo, but I don't actually get to chat to them like I'm getting chatting to you. So I'm actually really looking forward to getting that opportunity.
It's really exciting. I'm going to start offering more one-to-one around and using the elemental realm as well, which is just
that'll be so good.
Yeah, it feels really good. Oh, how exciting that there's all this new energy coming in to support this growth. It's so cool.
Well, they really want us to achieve, they really want us to live to our highest potential. And sometimes it just takes that other person to be your mirror to help you shift something. I'm very lucky. I've got a wonderful husband who's totally into everything I do. But not everybody's in that place to be living with people. A lot of people are having to hide their beliefs and hide their spirituality within their relationships, within their careers, within their families. And I can really see from the feedback from people how lonely that can be, and how creating the group, like on Facebook, I've got the Dragon Wisdom School, people are making friendships just through a Facebook group, or just because I heard your voice on the workshop, or I heard you did that, and they're actually making connections that way, which is lovely, because I've always wanted to build a community. That's been one of my drivers. And I think that's maybe my issue with writing books, is it takes a lot of time to write a book, and I do like the writing process, but I think I've really wanted to run the workshops, and I've really wanted to run the retreats and hold this group energy, that the writing. I also had a baby unexpectedly, so that was 5 years of my life where I decided to train as a forest school teacher as well. So for 2 years I was trained to be a forest school teacher, and now I run a forest school and get the kids out into nature, get them connecting with the elemental realm. So yeah, my life's taken a different path, and now the dragons are like, oh, come on, give us some attention this way. I'm like, okay.
Do you work mostly with them now? Is it mostly the dragons that you're kind of focusing on?
No, that would really be unfair to. I've got my big crystal skulls down there. I do a lot of work with crystal skulls. Every month I do an angel meditation. I do, the full moon workshops is whatever deity wants to come through, using Ascended Master but I've been doing a lot with star beings. So I've been bringing through these Syrian transmissions. We've had our 7th one, so we'll be doing another one next month. So I love working with star beings. They're probably my big passion. And I work a lot with galactic dragons as well. So sometimes I see people and they just work with one energy, and I have in the past thought, oh, it'd be so nice to just have that as your focus. But I came through the Orion Stargate portal, so I'm an intergalactic communicator. So I'm here to channel all the different realms, and that's my path. And sometimes I am like, oh, I'm all over the place not with the energies, because I'm very focused on what I'm doing, but just try to keep all my groups running and try and think, oh, I've not spoken to unicorns for a while. And of course, I wrote a book about unicorns, Ascending with Unicorns, in 2013 or 2012. So that's just an ebook on my website, or it's up on Amazon now as well. But yeah, I work a lot with the unicorn realm. So I suppose every day I wake up and I just think, who am I working with today? That's probably the easiest way of doing it.
This is why I've seen your website so many times, because each time I've connected into a different realm and a different group of beings, and I go online and I Google, and then I found your website because there's so many
different beings I work with. I know.
Yeah, so it will be a really good resource for people watching to be able to go and access your website and come over to Facebook and there. And
I've finally found Instagram as well. I'm Alphedia Elemental Beings on Instagram. It took me a while to get onto Instagram, but I am there too, and I quite enjoy Instagram. I'm not very good on Twitter. I do have an Elemental Beings account on Twitter, but I don't really do Twitter much. But I like Instagram and I like Facebook. I'm on Facebook all the time, so you can always get hold of me on Facebook.
There's lots of lovely content coming out there.
Oh, thank you. I just get inspiration. It's easier to do a little blog on Facebook than it is to do a blog on the website. So.
Well, maybe that's all you need, just to follow that little flow. It goes out to enough people.
I know. But yeah, no, I wouldn't be without a dragon now. My dragon skulls are like my babies. In fact, I've lost one. I'm quite upset. I'm like packing. And I'm like, oh, I haven't seen my iron parite dragon for a while. And then I was doing, this is what I mean about my life. I was doing animal communication with a dog in Bali this morning. So I was speaking to this Balinese dog. And And a lot of the time the animals actually are bringing through messages for their guardians. So when I'm doing animal communication, I always have to allow time to do a healing on the owner, or to give extra messages to the owner about what they're meant to be doing with this animal, why this animal's with them. And so I was talking to the lady about working with her dragon skull and closing down some of the energy portals, because she was talking about how when they build houses, the belief is this darker energies coming up, and how could she help with that. And I was saying, oh, just get your dragon skull out and do that. And she was like, oh yeah, I got a lovely ruby and zoisite dragon skull from you. And I was like, yes, I have one of them. Where is my 4-inch ruby and zoisite dragon skull? So they do go walkies sometimes, and they will dematerialize and rematerialize. Crystals do that anyway, but dragons do seem to do that. So don't freak out if your dragon skull vanishes for a few days and then just reappears and you're like, you weren't there, because they just shift into different realms. But they each have their own characters. I go to bed cuddling a crystal every night, either a crystal skull, a unicorn skull, or a dragon skull. I would never sleep without holding one of them, because they just do so much work on you when you're sleeping. So you've got 8 hours to be getting massive healing from their consciousness. So that's a good tip. If you want to bring them into your lives, you can start sleeping with the crystals or the skulls, and you'll see changes happen that way as well.
Beautiful. Oh, I'm tempted. I don't have one. I'm tempted to get one now.
Well, a new batch has just gone on my website. I try and channel a little message for each one. So I did about 4 last night, and I'm going to try and do some more this afternoon after this interview, and get their personal messages up. And because we sold out for a couple of weeks, but I got some more carved, so some lovely new ones have just come in, so it's very exciting.
Really exciting. It's really exciting just to hear that they're selling so well, and to hear how many people are interested in
I know, and the thing is, a lot of people, it's like, already got one, need to get another, because they work like that. They sort of call you as their guardian. And every one I send out a little guided meditation that I channeled with them in 2014 when I started working with dragon skulls, just to help you get messages from your dragon and to connect with them, so that you're not just getting your dragon, you get this meditation, and you can do that as often as you like, holding your dragon, to get information and guidance and inspiration from them as well. So people really like that too.
Beautiful. Oh, thank you so much for sharing so much.
That's
And
okay.
is there anything else? Do you think there's anything else, any other message from the dragons that you'd like to share before we finish?
Okay, well, what I'll do actually, I'll channel this dragon skull live, because I haven't actually channeled this one. This is my newest skull, and it is a 4-inch Himalayan quartz. It's a really high vibration type of quartz, because most quartz tends to come from South America. I mean, obviously quartz is the most abundant crystal around the world, but the Himalayan quartz has got a very different energy to the Brazilian quartzes and South American quartz, because the Kundalini of the earth used to reside at the Himalayas, and before the 2012 shift, a lot of the First Nation people around the world were helping the Earth's Kundalini move to Chile, Peru, that area. So these dragons are actually carrying a lot of this earth energy and high frequency light. So I just knew when this one came in, I had to have it. I didn't have a clear quartz one, and I was like, oh, you have to be my dragon, because I've been waiting on a clear quartz one coming in for me. So it'll be interesting to see what this dragon has to say.
Yeah,
okay, so
great.
I'm just going to tune in. Greetings. It is a great honour and privilege to have this opportunity to connect directly with you all. I am known as Antia. I am a female dragon. And I, as Alphedia has explained, am carrying the codes of the Kundalini of the earth. I am here to assist with the transformation of consciousness within humanity. I am here to assist light workers in accelerating their spiritual growth, raising their energy vibrations, and assisting with the crystallization of your energy matrices. For in 2012, at the winter solstice, it was decreed that humanity would take on a more crystalline energy frequency. And this means that your body sings at a higher vibratory rate. Yet, where the energy sticks within your body is where you manifest pain, resistance, and ill health. And I have come forth to assist with shifting the energy blocks within your holographic matrices. I will be offering this service, and I am very delighted to now have the opportunity to begin my work. We in the Dragon Realm wish to assist you all in shifting your density, in refining your energy frequency, and opening your sixth sense capacity and ability more fully. It is with great joy and privilege that we connect. Adonai, Adonai, Namaste. Wow, what a job you've got to do. That's amazing. I knew it was here to help me heal. I didn't realise it was here to help everybody else heal. So that is fabulous. Oh, well, I better get you up on the website and telling people what you can be doing with them. But what I love is it's actually got red through it, and it's like the hematite. So it's like a really high vibration quartz crystal, but it's got the hematite to ground you in the work. So yeah, well, feel very honoured that you decided. I've been waiting for her to speak. She literally hasn't been speaking to me for a month. She's just been sitting there and I've been sort of stroking her. But she wanted to do it in style.
Yeah, she's beautiful. She's amazing. Oh, thank you so much for bringing that through for us to
I know, connect
receive a bit of that energy.
I know.
Yeah,
nice. I do actually have some new Himalayan quartzes. That's sort of the next ones I'm going to channel are the. I think I've got 5 new Himalayan quartzes came in because I only had a couple in the last batch, and everybody was like, "Oh, I want one of them." So I got some more of them in. So yeah, I'll go and do that later this afternoon.
Great! Oh, what a great job you have.
It is fab. hard work at times, but it is fab.
Yeah, wonderful. Oh, thank you so much for sharing that with us. That's great.
Oh, thank you for inviting me along today.
Yeah, it's lovely to meet with you and get to hear so much of what you're sharing as well. That's great.
Thank you.
Okay, so thank you to everyone who's watched today, and happy journeying with the dragon energy, and we'll see you again soon. So much love. Bye.